Hey everyone, and welcome. So, if you're a contractor working in Tennessee, you already know the rules can be a little different here. Today, we are going to break down the state's very specific licensing system. We'll cover the requirements, the bonds, and pretty much the exact roadmap you need to follow to get your business up and running the right way. The first thing you have to understand about getting licensed in Tennessee is that you're immediately at a fork in the road. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all deal. The state makes you choose one of two very distinct paths, and it all comes down to the size and value of the jobs you plan to do. So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at that two-tier system. Then, we'll dive into each license type, the home improvement and the general contractor license. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the surety bond, and we'll wrap it all up with a super clear step-by-step guide to getting licensed. Okay, so Tennessee's whole contractor licensing setup is built around this two-tier system. And the line in the sand, it's simply the dollar value of your projects. That's it. It's all about matching the level of risk with the right amount of oversight. This fork in the road is probably the most important decision you'll make right at the start. And here it is, laid out plain and simple. On one side, you've got the home improvement license. This is for your smaller residential jobs, anything from $3,000 up to just under $25,000. On the other side, you've got the full-blown contractor license for any project, commercial or residential, that's valued at $25,000 or more. Figuring out which lane you're in is absolutely step one. All right, let's walk down that first path and take a closer look at the home improvement license. This one is specifically for contractors who are focusing on residential work. Think remodels, repairs, and improvements that fall within that $3,000 to $25,000 sweet spot. So, what are the requirements here? Well, there's a really interesting trade-off. For this license, and this is a big deal, you are not required to pass an exam. But, and here's the trade-off, you are required to get a $10,000 surety bond. It's absolutely mandatory, right along with your proof of general liability and workers' comp insurance. Now, this is super important. You've got to know what this license doesn't let you do. The home improvement license specifically excludes all those specialty trades like electrical, plumbing, and HVAC work. Why? Because those fields all require their own separate specialized licenses. So this license keeps you focused on general remodeling and repair projects. Okay, let's switch gears and look at that other path. If you're aiming for the bigger fish, those projects valued at $25,000 or more, then you're going to need the general contractor license. And this is where the requirements totally flip. For the general contractor license, there is no mandatory bond. Instead, the state wants to see your financial stability, and they do that by looking at a reviewed or audited financial statement. But look at the other big difference. An exam is absolutely required. In fact, you have to pass both a trade exam and a business and law exam. Now, here's an interesting twist. Even though a bond isn't required for this license, it can still come into play. Let's say your financial statement isn't quite as strong as the state would like. Well, you actually have the option to use a pretty large contractor's bond. We're talking $500,000 to $1 million to help strengthen your application and prove your financial standing. Okay, since that bond is the absolute key to getting a home improvement license, let's really dig into what it is and what it means for you. I know this is the part that can seem confusing, but I promise it's actually pretty simple once you break it down. This is the magic number. For the Tennessee Home Improvement License, this is what it's all about, $10,000. That's the amount of the surety bond you have to be in compliance. So what even is a surety bond? Honestly, the easiest way to think about it is like insurance that gives your clients peace of mind. It's a three-way agreement between you, the state of Tennessee, and a surety company. And all it does is guarantee that you'll follow the rules. It's there to protect the public from any financial loss if, for some reason, you don't. Now, you need to know that this requirement is for specific areas. The bond is mandatory for home improvement contractors who are working in several designated counties, and that includes the big metro areas around Nashville, Chattanooga, Knoxville, and Memphis. But here's the best part. You don't actually pay $10,000. You only pay a small percentage of it, and that's called the premium. As you can see from this chart, that premium is based on your personal credit score. So if you've got excellent credit, you could end up paying as little as $100 a year for that full $10,000 bond. All right, we've covered the two different paths and all the key requirements, so now let's put it all together into a simple step-by-step guide to actually getting your Tennessee contractor license. It really just boils down to these 5 steps. First, you pick your lane based on your project values. Step 2 If you're going for the big contractor license, you got to hit the books and pass those exams. Step 3, for the home improvement license, you go get your $10,000 bond. Fourth, you gather up all your paperwork and submit that complete application. And finally, step 5 is just a little bit of patience because processing usually takes about 4 to 8 weeks. Just understanding these rules is the most important first step. When you follow the right path, get the right credentials, and show that you're protecting your clients, you're not just getting a license. You're building a rock-solid foundation of trust and professionalism for your business, right here in the great state of Tennessee. If that home improvement path sounds right for you, you can get started on it today. Get your surety bond quote in minutes at buysuretybonds.com.